Saturday at 11 on WOUB.
Now at 6:30, Nelsonville City Government is once again asking the state Supreme Court to reconsider its decision on the city's November ballot.
We're saying we're going to stand and fight for the things that Americans care about.
A shutdown looms as the Senate fails to pass a bill to keep funding federal agencies.
And in sports, high school football is halfway through the regular season. Gridiron Glory has a look at tonight's top matchups. Newswatch starts right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Harshita Singhania.
And I'm Serenity Prophet. Welcome to Newswatch.
It's been a long and hot week in Athens, but will we see any relief this weekend?
For the latest look at what's in store, let's hear from forecaster Calvin Stebbins.
Yeah, guys, luckily we will start to see a bit of a relief at the end of the weekend and head into early next week. And that's just because of a low pressure system that will be moving its way in later this weekend. But as of right now, we are seeing a lot of high pressure, which is bringing a lot of warmer temperatures, and we're going to see that occur for most of the weekend, so we're not going to have much of a relief as of right now. Taking a look around the surrounding areas, south of I-70, 88 in Zanesville and 87 in Lancaster, then through the Ohio River Valley, 91 in Huntington and 87 in Parkersburg. Taking a look at today as a whole, we did see a high of 89 and even reached 90 in some parts of the areas, and it has been a sunny, beautiful day out there. Heading into tonight, 59 will be the low, and with mostly clear skies. So if you are going out, it's going to be a beautiful night to go to a football game or even any other festivities that you might have planned. And then heading into tomorrow, we'll finally start to see some cloud cover with a high of 89 and a low of 62. Stay tuned to see my full weather.
Thanks, Calvin. Nelsonville is once again asking the Ohio Supreme Court to reconsider its ruling on the case surrounding candidates on the city's November ballot. Earlier this week, the court ruled against removing candidates running under Issue 23, a citizen-led ballot initiative that would have changed the city's form of government. This means that, at least for now, there are candidates running under the city's charter and Issue 23. It's unclear at this point who will decide which candidates actually take office after the election, which is the question the city wants the court to answer. The state Supreme Court's decision comes just ahead of the start of overseas voting. As of today, county boards of elections are sending out ballots to military and overseas voters. This is just the first of several key election dates coming up. The deadline to register to vote is just over 2 weeks away, with early voting starting October 7th. To find out more information about voter registration, election deadlines, and how to become a poll worker, you can visit the website on your screen.
Lieutenant Governor Jim Tressel confirms he will not run for governor next year, clearing the way for Trump-backed candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. Earlier today, Tressel announced he will not be running in a social media post on X, formerly Twitter. In a statement, Tressel said he wants to use the remainder of his term to focus on issues facing education and the workforce. Tressel was sworn in as lieutenant governor back in February to fill John Huston's seat after he was appointed to the Senate. As of now, only businessman Vivek Ramaswamy is the only Republican left in the race for governor. The director of Ohio's Department of Medicaid is stepping down. Yesterday, Governor Mike DeWine released a statement announcing Maureen Corcoran's departure. Her last day is set for October 31st. Corcoran has served as director since 2019. As of now, no information is available about why she is stepping down or who will fill her position.
The Senate rejected a stopgap bill that would have temporarily funded the federal agencies through September 30th, increasing the likelihood of an impending government shutdown. The bill narrowly passed the House vote, earlier today, but senators voted 44 to 48 to defeat the bill, with Democrats almost unanimously opposing it, saying not enough funding was allocated for health care, while Republicans say bipartisanship is needed.
Hospitals in my state are already closing and laying off staff, and around the both in my state and around the country, because of these Republican health care cuts.
We had a couple of votes today, neither of which succeeded, but this isn't the last vote that we're going to have on keeping the government open. There will be an opportunity for Democrats to vote on a bill that has already passed the House of Representatives, that when passed in the Senate can go to the President's desk and fund a continuing resolution to keep the government open and give us another 7 weeks or so to complete the appropriations process. We think that's the right way to do this.
Senators left today for a week-long recess. This means their return to Washington would mean less than 48 hours to avert a government shutdown. It looks like TikTok will stay in the U.S. President Donald Trump reached an agreement with Chinese leader Xi Jinping earlier today. They made progress on a deal that would allow the popular app to stay operational in the U.S. The agreement might include selling most of the platform's U.S. assets to American investors. President Biden signed a bipartisan bill that banned TikTok unless it hands over at least 80% of its assets to U.S. operators. But Trump halted the ban several times, trying to reach a deal.
A judge strikes down President Trump's $15 billion lawsuit against the New York Times. A Florida district judge says the 85-page suit does not follow federal rules for filing civil complaints, calling it improper and impermissible. The lengthy lawsuit accuses the publication of being a, quote, virtual mouthpiece for the Democratic Party. The president's term has a month to refile the lawsuit, but it has to be 40 pages or less. A spokesperson for Trump says they will file again. The former U.S. attorney who negotiated Jeffrey Epstein's 2008 plea deal is set to appear before the House Oversight Committee. Alexander Acosta is expected to speak voluntarily behind closed doors with both Democrats and Republicans on the panel as they continue their probe into the late convicted sex offender.
According to the victims and the survivors of Epstein, there was a lot of warning about the crimes that Epstein and Maxwell were committing, but yet it appears the government let the victims down and they didn't prosecute. So Acosta was a major player in that.
In July of 2019, Epstein was arrested and charged in the connection with having operated a sex trafficking ring. He later died by suicide in jail.
The Trump administration's next move, it wants the U.S. Supreme Court to limit passport sex markers, a move that is drawing criticism from non-binary and transgender people. In April of 2022, Americans were able to choose X as their gender marker, as opposed to male or female. But shortly after the start of his second term, President Trump issued an executive order stating the federal government would only recognize two sexes. That resulted in the suspension of passport applications with the gender X marker. Several legal battles on the issue soon followed. Earlier this year, a ruling from a Massachusetts federal judge blocked the government from nationally enforcing the White House's gender policy. As the Trump administration ramps up immigration enforcement nationwide, many civil rights groups are speaking out over the tactics used.
Their concerns include agents concealing their identities, driving unmarked vehicles. Mary Bell Gonzalez speaks to legal experts who explain what your rights are during an ICE encounter as an immigrant or bystander.
A group of Democratic senators are calling on the White House to recognize Palestine as a state. Senator Jeff Merkley from Oregon introduced the resolution along with 3 co-sponsors. Bernie Sanders is also a part of the effort. As for President Trump, he says he's not in favor of the idea. The proposal is not likely to pass through the Republican-led Senate. The UN General Assembly meets next week with multiple U.S. allies also calling for a Palestinian statehood.
Coming up on the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Committee is making major changes to the children's vaccine schedule. What you need to know about the new guidelines.
And millions of people have AFib, one of the most common types of heart arrhythmia. A medical expert shares the warning signs you should look out for.
Most of southern Ohio is under a drought. Stay tuned to see when we'll get a relief in my full weather forecast.
We're 5 weeks into the regular season. Teams are settling in, conference play is in full swing, and the playoffs loom in the distance. The Jackson Ironmen will head over to Ironton to face off against the reigning Division V state champs. Can the Ironmen beat them for the first time since 2014? And this week, our Game of the Week features last year's TVC hockey champs going head-to-head with the TVC Ohio champs.
Find out all that and more next week, because there's nothing better than Friday nights in Gridiron Glory.
In some ways, Portsmouth was one of the last small cities to field a team and get a franchise. What was kind of extraordinary about Portsmouth was it was able to field an incredible team for a brief moment in the sun. A little sweet spot that almost was sweet enough to get them a national championship, but they put together the team that ultimately did win the championship in 1935 in Detroit.
PBS viewers believe that businesses that sponsor PBS on WOUB Public Television have a commitment to quality and excellence. Sponsoring a PBS television program offers your business a unique opportunity to connect with a highly engaged, loyal, and trustful audience in a clutter-free environment, leading to increased brand awareness, positive perception, and potential for higher customer engagement. Your sponsorship is important to the community, and the rewards come back to you in the form of loyal customers. Align your organization with America's most trusted news and public affairs network. WOUB Public Television is worthy of your trust. Contact Corporate Support Director Kathy Malesic at 740-593-4909 or online at woub.org/support.
So, Calvin, we've had a really hot week here in Athens. Are we going to see any relief from that drought? You know, it didn't really come with any humidity, but is the rain going to pick up?
Yes, so luckily later into the weekend and even into next week, we are going to see some nice low pressure move into our area, really just knocking out all that high pressure that's just been sitting stationary over our area for the past couple of days. And even past couple of weeks, I mean, we've had a drought for quite a while. I mean, had a D0 and a D1 now, so you know, just a lot of lack of rain over the past couple of weeks. Taking a look at our surface analysis, over the past couple of days, we have started to see this high pressure system starting to move stationary into our area, just sitting there, just not really bringing much of anything else but sunny skies and a very big lack of clouds. Over the upcoming days, though, we are going to see this low pressure system move into our area, bringing clouds and even the chance of rain over the upcoming days and even into early next week. Taking a look at just around the country, we can see just right where that high pressure is sitting, 82 in Pittsburgh and 89 in Louisville. That's just where that high pressure and warm front is really sitting at the moment. But we can also see where that cold front and low pressure will be moving in, 69 in Minneapolis and 83 in Kansas City. So that low pressure system is sitting just right in between Minneapolis and Kansas City. Now, alongside with this, like I said, there is a D1 drought alongside with this. So pretty much what this is saying is we have a moderate drought. So just some tips to keep your plants and crops alive. Make sure you're watering your plants in the early morning hours and the late evening hours, just to allow that soil to really soak up any of that water. And then also move your plants into the shade. You don't want that sun beating down on your plants all day. It can just really just kill your plants or anything like that. Taking a look over the past 24 hours, we've seen our lows drop into the mid to low 50s. That's just because of the lack of clouds. And because of those lack of clouds, we've also seen our highs go right back up into the high 80s and even low 90s in some parts of the area. So just a lot of high pressure in our area at the moment. We can also see where it is sitting at just with all this lack of clouds that are just sitting in our area. But again, we can see that low pressure system really just starting to mix itself in around the Minneapolis-Iowa border. And that will be moving into our area in the early to late weekend. Athens today, we did see a high of 89 and 90 degrees in some parts of southern Ohio. Just lots of sunny skies to be had with that. Heading into tonight, 59 will be the low, so if you are heading out with any festivities or any Friday night games, it's a beautiful night to do that with mostly clear skies. Then tomorrow, much of the same. We are going to start seeing some clouds pick up, but high of 89 and a low of 62. We can see that low pressure system allowing these clouds to start forming and moving into our area. We do have this high, which is keeping the rain in control. But tomorrow night, much of the same. Just that low pressure system and this nice little warm sector alongside with it, keeping our temperatures up in the high 80s and low 60s into the early nights. Then Sunday, we'll finally get that relief from that rain. We'll see that low pressure system move just north, which will allow this rain to pour into our area. Then heading into our 7-day outlook. Through the weekend, high in the upper 80s, that chance of rain returning on Sunday. Then heading through next week, highs up in the upper 80s and lower 70s with that chance of rain returning into next week.
As the Trump administration ramps up immigration enforcement nationwide, many civil rights groups are speaking out over the tactics used.
Their concerns include agents concealing their identities and driving unmarked vehicles. Maribel Gonzalez speaks to legal experts who explain what your rights are during ICE encounter and immigrant or bystander.
Ticketmaster knew this was happening and let it happen because a lot of these sales were then going to Ticketmaster's secondary ticketing platform. And that means that, Ticketmaster and these brokers got to pocket profits.
Excuse me, sorry. The FTC says Ticketmaster controls ticketing for about 80% of major venues in the United States, with consumers spending nearly $83 billion. This story is about FTC suing the parent company Ticketmaster over its alleged illegal ticket spending tactics.
AFib is the most common type of treated heart arrhythmia. It causes irregular heartbeat, which can lead to serious and potentially deadly health problems. The CDC says AFib will affect millions, but some people have no idea they have it. Mandy Gaither has warning signs to watch out for.
It's a common heart condition. Atrial fibrillation, or AFib, happens when a person's heartbeat becomes irregular and rapid. It can be dangerous, even deadly. In the U.S., AFib is the cause of about 1 in every 7 strokes.
The blood clot forms in the heart, and that blood clot dislodges. The first place it tends to go is to the brain.
Dr. David Singh with El Camino Health says AFib also takes a toll on the heart, increasing risk of heart failure and other health problems as well. Warning signs of AFib include irregular heartbeat, heart palpitations, lightheadedness, extreme fatigue, shortness of breath, and chest pain. But Singh says it's important to know that not everyone will have symptoms.
If someone is having AFib and they don't know about it, it can be taking a toll on the heart silently.
It's unclear why some have symptoms while others don't, so Singh says it's important to know if you're at higher risk of AFib. Factors include advancing age, high blood pressure, obesity, European ancestry, diabetes, and lifestyle choices like moderate to heavy alcohol use and smoking. Singh says AFib gets progressively worse, so getting diagnosed and treated early is key.
It's not the end of the world. We've got a lot of different treatment options available to you. And the most important thing is don't ignore it.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Once again, as the Trump administration ramps up immigration enforcement nationwide, many civil rights groups are speaking out over the tactics used.
Their concerns include agents concealing their identities and driving unmarked vehicles. Maribel Gonzalez speaks with legal experts who explain your rights during an ICE encounter as an immigrant or bystander.
We need construction to cease immediately.
475 workers were detained in an immigration raid at Hyundai's battery plant in Georgia this month, marking the largest operation of its kind in recent years. The Trump administration vows there will be more.
President Trump's been clear we're going to prioritize public safety threats and national security threats.
But many advocates and civil rights groups are critical of the tactics used in immigration raids, including masked officers.
If you're not doing anything illegal, you should have no problem whatsoever saying your name, your badge number, the agency you're with.
U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, says its officers wear masks to protect their safety and will identify themselves when required for public safety or legal necessity.
There's frustration over people wearing masks and throwing people into vans in a way that does not seem American to me. It does not seem constitutional to me.
Legal experts say that no matter their legal status, everyone is entitled to protection from unreasonable search and seizure and excessive use of force under the U.S. Constitution's Fourth Amendment. ICE says everyone it arrests receives due process. And if you witness any of these raids,
You don't want to get in their way because then you may be accused of obstructing their law enforcement activity. But recording from a safe distance is absolutely lawful and protected activity.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
Next in sports, Week 5 of high school football is upon us, marking the halfway point of the regular season. Gridiron Glory is in Nelson, New York for their game of the week between the Buckeyes and Waterford. More updates after the break.
There's been a death. Is it murder? This is a serious investigation.
The evidence begins with a lie and ends with the truth.
There's something you need to see. There's a connection here. Go crack it.
You do not want the weight of this on your shoulders. You really have done your homework.
Quite thoroughly.
Sunday on WOUB.
Your first guest, Margaret Thatcher.
There's never been a woman Prime Minister.
Thank you for joining us, Mrs. Thatcher.
Goodbye, then.
A quick intro, and
Presumably a two-shot.
he's your favourite journalist. You ready?
Yes. One mistake, and they will have me out.
We have to be tougher.
To a fourth term!
I know what I have to do. What on earth is going on?
Betrayal.
Those that learn to play together can live together. Hatred doesn't work. Friendship does.
We've sung in times of war before, and we'll do it tomorrow.
My children are so different from each other. You accept your children that they're different. So the same thing, accept other people as who they are.
Even if we all look different, even if we all act different, even if we don't speak the same language, we all share a heartbeat.
Thursday at 10 on WOUB. As the opioid crisis ravages the nation, a small-town lawyer takes on Big Pharma. When his case gains traction, it becomes the biggest civil litigation in U.S. history.
I'm representing my entire home community. Now I'm suddenly feeling like I can make a big difference.
The Bitter Pill on POV. Monday at 10 on WOUB.
The Bobcats are entering week 4 of the football season after facing tough opponents the past 3 weeks. Sports reporter
Grant Kiefer has all the details on this weekend's matchup. All right, week 4 of college football has arrived, but it feels like a whole new season is starting again for the Ohio Bobcats after a crazy and tough opening 3 games. Only 2 teams in the entire country opened their season with 3 straight Power 4 opponents, the Bobcats and Notre Dame. Now that the opening stretch is behind them, Ohio faces FCC opponent ahead of MAC play starting next week. It leads to an opportunity to rattle off a lot of wins, but head coach Brian Smith isn't overlooking FCS Gardner Webb. That's all we've got for this week. Make sure to follow at Bobcat Showcase on X, Facebook, and Instagram for all of the latest updates. If some high school football is what you want, stick around because we have a preview of tonight's games for Gridiron Glory.
From conference showdowns to long-standing rivalries, we have all the action from across the 740.
Nelsonville York is sure to be looking for revenge after last year's Week 5 loss in Waterford. That was a low-scoring game, only 12-6, and the Wildcats scored all 12 unanswered in the fourth quarter. But unlike last year, NY is entering this one undefeated, while Waterford is coming off of their first loss.
Despite being shut out last week, Waterford QB Hayden Jones and his running back Trevin Zimmer are due for a comeback. Both teams are averaging over 30 points per game this year, so I'd expect this year's matchup to exceed last year's score. Here's NY's Rusty Richards ahead of the game.
So obviously a big time game for our game of the week, but we'll have crews at a couple other games across the 740 tonight. Here's a look at each of our Showtime games.
Here's one final look at our Showtime rundown for this week. 2 FAC games with Chillicothe playing Wilmington and Jackson heading over to Ironton.
In the MVL, 2 of the top teams from the big and small, New Lexington and Tri-Valley, go head-to-head in the MSL Cardinal Fairfield. Christian will play Sims Valley, and will be breaking down a couple of other games in the conference too.
Still ahead, calling Cryptid fans to Mothman's Festival returns this weekend to celebrate West Virginia's famous urban legend.
We'll be back after the break, but for now, here's a look at what's coming up next on your public television station.
We tell stories.
To evolve. To explore.
To be inspired.
Close your eyes now. Jump into the future.
This is the stuff that dreams are made of.
Right now, the world is waiting for you.
Be the difference and be loud.
Oh, that's just the best thing ever.
The American Revolution changed the world.
It gave people a sense of hope that they have an opportunity for freedom.
We need to work together.
Oh my God, it's delicious!
Thanks for spending part of your evening with us.
Spooky season is starting early. The 2-day Mothman Festival kicks off tomorrow, and this could be your chance to take a deep dive into the cryptid in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. This weekend's festival has live music, panels from paranormal experts, and the world's only Mothman Museum. To get the latest updates, you can download the Mothman app for free from the App Store and Google Apps. To buy tickets to the festival, you can head to the website on your screen.
Now that sounds like a cool festival for...
So make sure you drink a lot of water because it's going to be a hot one out there tomorrow. But taking a look into the overnight, low of 59, and then heading into next week, it's going to be the chance of rain will return with highs in the upper 70s.
That does it for our podcast this evening. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
We're on the precipice of a great discovery.
I love it. Fasten your seatbelt.
Support comes from Goldsberry Wealth Strategies, focusing on helping people achieve a